Thank you for joining us. It's back to school time, and this year that takes on a very special resonance. We're 30 years and many billions of dollars into the bipartisan education reform law of 1993. And after many years of progress, things have stalled. Massachusetts posted its worst showing in 20 years in the latest round of 4th and 8th grade math and reading test scores, and the results from Black and Latino students, who were a special target of the ed reform, have taken an alarming downturn. What went wrong? Let's talk about that and some solutions. With our special guest today, at the far end of the couch is Oscar Santos, Executive Director of the Center for Collaborative Education, a nonprofit group that works with school systems to promote community engagement and educational excellence. He's the former superintendent of the Randolph Public Schools and a former Boston Teacher of the Year. Oscar, welcome.
Thanks for having me, John.
Also joining us, a familiar face to many Bostonians, Michael Contompasis is a much-honored teacher and administrator, former headmaster of the Boston Latin School and superintendent of the Boston Public Schools from 2005 to 2007. He's working with Oscar Santos on solutions to some of our educational problems. Welcome to you, Michael.
Thank you.
So, to my question, all this money, all these years, all this well-meaning effort by a variety of stakeholders, what went wrong, Oscar?
John, great question. First of all, thanks for having us here. The Mass Ed Reform Act, as you know, in 1993, provided opportunities for a lot of chances to recreate the way we do education. And while I think it was very well-intentioned, unfortunately, it required one key aspect that I believe we have a chance to address today, is community voice and ownership. It's really making sure students, families, and community members are really at the table helping design policies, practices, and systems for collective accountability. And that's really one of the opportunities that I think exists 30 years later.
Michael, how could that get left out, right? Community voice, wasn't that what it was always supposed to be about?
It was, but it was always designed to be top-down. What we've been talking about, Oscar and I and others, is a different approach to all of this that really gives voice and ownership to the community at large. But it's only through that, I happen to think that the MCAS did provide a great deal of excitement around change. Is it a perfect system? No. But it did, for the first time, bring a level of accountability to all of the educators within every district in the Commonwealth.
Well, the Massachusetts Teachers Association wants to do away with the graduation stakes that accompany MCAS. So MCAS would still be here, but it would be joined by other testing measures, and it would not be a requirement for graduation. Just briefly here, do you believe that's a good or bad idea, doing away with the stakes?
I think it's a bad idea. I think there have to be metrics. And the problem isn't with establishing standards. It's really the implementation at the district level to address those standards. And so whether it's an individual test or measuring, for example, growth of students over a period of time, there are alternatives. But let's not throw the baby out with the bathwater.
Oscar, I have to take a break, but so many teachers and parents, students, have told me over the years they find the MCAS to be punitive. Is that an example of the top-down nature of that you're referring to?
Very much so. Again, I believe in high-quality standards and high-quality expectations, but high-quality support. I also believe that any measures that are built, the work that we're currently doing is called Measures That Matter to Communities and Schools. And it's really, what are the goals and outcomes that communities and schools want, so that they can actually have more voice in determining what those outcomes are. That, to us, I think is incredibly important, because families and students and communities do want standards, but they also want to have voice in the process.
I want to find out much more about the kinds of solutions you two gentlemen are working on, along with many others.